Hi, this is Brenda, Power Medicine Woman, and this is what I look like right after having to go through a humanistic limitation. And the camera is different. You will see that. So I'm just, I'm connecting to spirit. I have been connecting to spirit. I've been doing my best. But like I said, the camera is going to be screwed up. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. It feels good to know that I am received and that my message is important too. I feel like I'm really super short, so I don't know if I should sit on something taller. That might help. So let me just fix this. So what do you do when life throws you a curveball, right? Just moments of before you have to do something. It's like being in a hospital and you're a doctor and you only have seconds to help keep somebody alive. And you have too many things going on in your space that constantly is pushing you to your limit. And yet you have to learn how to handle doing things under stress. So I was trying to resurrect this camera or this laptop, or what do you want to call it? Because yes, the camera is different because the camera that I was using died. The camera that's on the computer I got to work died. And now I have another camera that my friends bought me, but because it's too new, it doesn't want to work appropriately with the old stuff. So when you have new information that doesn't work with your old world, you're going to have to update your old world. But what if you feel like you can't? That's the thing. That's a belief. And that is the limitation. And when you are in the can't, because you feel like your hands are tied, there is no money, there is nothing you can do. And even though you may turn to God, can you stay connected? So this decided, my computer decided it's going to take a camera issue, and it's like, okay, so how is it we're afraid to be seen? How is it we're not seen? Are we relevant or are we irrelevant? So as I decided I was going to do the show, my front door blew open, and I thought, oh, here they come again. And then I shut it and says, the show's not, I don't know if I'm doing the show. And then all of a sudden the door blew open again. It was like, okay, if I agree to do this, then you go out and you find the people that want me to be here today. And why would I even second guess that? Well, it's because it's considered Easter. But then Spirit says, you're missing the point. That even if not one person received this, it still happens to be how you receive it. Because I am still the observer. Now I'm going to pull out my metaphysical minister card. Yes, I am a minister. But what am I going to point out? Very simply, if my computer don't freeze on me, I'm going to explain something. Oh, see, it just did it. I knew it would do that. The importance of, oh, wait a minute. I'm just going to wait for just a second. Let more people come on. All right, I'm regrouping, regathering. It is hard, is the word that needs to be healed, hard, to live as a human with limitations. And that is the part of you that is in here, that is disconnected from spirit, that is looking out through with your senses. And what's it doing? If it is trying to make sense of its world and live in its world, then it is going to function smoothly until you're no longer supposed to function that way, which means that limitation come up. You are no longer the creator. You're no longer being the co-creator. You're no longer creating. You're just a program. And the soul, and that's you, has made a choice in your own contract that said, if I get stuck and I'm not waking up any further, then a bitch slap has to occur. What do I mean by that? The crucifixion. The crucifixion is change. Change is death. To execute, to take it, that part of you, and you're choosing to put to death that particular personality that is the program that constantly seems to be, it's worn out its time. It's you no longer do you need to be that personality. If you're upset and you dwell upon that instead of resolve it, then eventually you're going to keep talking about it and your immune system becomes that. And then you have an upset immune system, and then eventually you're going to have that to be your personality because that's your personal reality. But then it becomes your temperament. And so boy, that person's cranky all the time. Do you really want to be that? So you have to decide what part of you is it that no longer serves you because your life's not happy. It's not that you need to be forced by another person, but if your soul contract says that if I haven't moved, then I'm going to have to nudge myself with little whispers to bee stings, to bitch slaps. And then we get so upset when life takes a shit. But we haven't learned how to consciously live. So there's a crucifixion. It's about putting to death one of your personalities. Sometimes for us, change is usually forced. And those are the flying bitch slaps. You have to do it their way. And it's like, you understand that if you have to do it and you have to be forced, it's the part of you that's not letting go of that decision, that belief, that will that you put into that belief and said, this is true. This is my story. I'm keeping it. Your soul, you're meant to evolve. So you have to make a choice. Okay, so now let's go to the cross. The cross has everything to do with you, or the coming together, I should say, of two thoughts crystallizing. You have the divine mind, okay? And then you have the ego mindset. So in the middle is that crystallizing point. It's the cross you need to bear of deciding that if you want to keep staying in your comfort zone because you're afraid or you don't have the unknown, you're going to be having to make a choice. You're meeting your human limitations with your heart and with your soul, and your spiritual self is saying, we can do this. But we don't hear those cheerleaders. All we hear is our over-identification to matter. And when you finally decide you're going to nail that part of yourself that you don't like, or that's holding you back, or that fear, or just a lot of you have come to the terms of just being indifferent. I can't be bothered. I have demonstrated that emotions can affect your world, but just thought alone. If you choose to identify with a particular thought pattern, you will take on that particular personality. I mean, I saw the news today and I'm like, God, I gotta shut that depressing stuff off. And then I thought about it. It was a depressing thought. And if you were to watch certain things that familiar to you, is it trying to tell you that maybe you're depressed because it's your thoughts and not just the emotions? Are you trained to hear nothing but negativity instead of good? Does good bore you? What did you identify with? Well, it's time to nail your stuff to the cross. The resurrection is rising from the ashes of the human limitations. We'll get there. Well, they're very anxious. Just let me finish this. The human limitations were brought on by your over-identification, with matter. And so what you need to do is you have to bring to consciousness what is unconscious. Otherwise, it's your determined fate to repeat your hell. But when you bring that limitations up, you're no longer incompetent, no longer unconscious. It is now a conscious competent. You're beginning to get it. And when you start to get it with your heart and your spiritual mindset, the more that you can not just overcome, but resolve the roots, the thought patterns, the emotions. And when you do that, you're allowing yourself to rise from the human limitations to spiritual consciousness, which is also referred to as lifting the body, mind, and soul into the Christ consciousness. And that is so important to understand. And we're going to get there. And we're going to, I'm going to demonstrate this every day. I'm going to help you in many ways. I'm creating classes. I'm creating the opportunities so that you don't have to just be or exist. And so the crisis that I had today was, if I go back in the morning, I woke up with, what? And it was the thoughts, not the emotion. Because every thought creates an emotion and you're supposed to feel what you're thinking. But when you have those thoughts that don't register as like an emotion, it started to make sense to me. It's the thought. So what kind of thoughts that you rooted to, or what kind of thoughts is that you identify with right now? What is it all about? Oh, I'm just looking at the names. Love all this. And the thoughts, when we do a one-on-one, you get a lot of meat and potatoes is what I refer to, is that you get a plate full. And it's not to overwhelm your, how do you put it? I'm talking to your soul. I'm talking to your heart. I'm talking to your spiritual mind. It's planting the seeds. It's helping you to connect the dots. If I gave it too small of increments, you would never allow yourself to see the change. So sometimes when you get into confusion, that's just about ready when you're ready to break through. And you're going to nail your stuff to the cross, and you're going to be able to rise out of the ashes. Healing tools, hope therapy is an amazing thing. I just heard from the United States that in Grey's Anatomy, the TV show, they do muscle testing. And the form that they're doing is neuro-emotional technique. And that is what hope therapy is. I had put together everything that was from the Chinese medicine, from Donna Eden to emotions and the meridians, and learning acupressure and learning all about this. And then I took a class from a woman, and then later found out that she got the information from somewhere else. But when I started to see how they all connected, it made perfect sense. I had to have confirmation that what I was doing was very important, and I just didn't make it up, and that it's already on the planet, and now it needs to be spread further. So I'm not liking this camera. I'm not sure how I'm being received, but that's okay. Now the spirits here have a lot they want to say, and it's the drill. I'm not even sure if Lenny's here. I've got the other thing working, but I'm not sure. So, if you do share, thank you. And I may, and if you share, and because it's supposed to say share, but it doesn't. But I can write your name down. We can go from there. It's stuck together. What do you do when things don't work? Well, you get off that train of thought and you go, okay, Spirit, I'm done. Show me where I need to go. I heard to the right. Okay, flip it over. All right. Now, we're going to, we have a paid reading first, and the wonderful lady paid for her daughter, and she paid in advance because she wants this as a gift. And I am so thankful that she chose me as that medium. And I think it's beautiful when people can see the value in what it is that God's trying to bring through. I do my best with the amount of knowledge and the amount of language, English language, that is able to bring through. And sometimes I just don't feel like I do complete justice to the information that actually I get exposed to. But they've been training me very well over the last quite a few years. So again, like I said, I don't see Lenny here. So I'm just, hopefully, I got to get my hand to not make your names look funky when Spirit does pick them. But thank you all for doing that. You know, and by hitting love or like, you get a card anyway. But you also get a card when you share, even if your name isn't picked. But it's so important that you have to feel that you're not alone. Because if you begin to feel that you're alone in this journey, you will slide back so far and get really lost and confused. And then that's what we call a wave. And then sometimes, Spirit will go over here. And you're like, yeah. And so, okay, here comes something. I don't know what they're saying. Oh, thank you, Lisa. She says, you have helped me so much. So grateful. You are great. Thank you. And see, this is what I'd like to know. How have I helped you versus other people? Why? It's not about a comparison. It's about, so you understand that, when you say that I'm great, that's beautiful. But what do other people know? What other people, how did I help you? And that is always a refresher to me. Oh, thank you, Catherine. She says, we are grateful for you. So I appreciate it. And it's not looking for accolades. It is, again, when there is a reciprocity of the energies, then it will pull me in the direction that I'm supposed to be in. Okay, now half of my stuff's over here because I had to pull a chair way back just so you can see me, because where my chair normally sat, all you saw was this. I'm just so thankful and grateful I got a camera to work so I can communicate with you, because Spirit said, oh, you're going to go on. And I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, no camera. What? And then, so I dug the other one off the other computer, which it's okay. I had it all set up. Now, a lot of you are fear of your future. A lot of you are uncertain about that. Am I talking to my higher self? Am I doing this correctly? Now, I'm not just a healer and a reader. Anybody can pull a card, but what does your higher self want you to know? And this is where then you can pull in where most of you want to talk to your loved ones as well. But before we get into it, we're going to set the tone. The loved ones mainly want to set it up. So we're going to just, I was going to keep reading. I don't even have a clock. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, no, that doesn't. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay. I thought it was way beyond my 30 minutes, but we're not. We're good. The loved ones, the main thing that they want, whoever's here or whoever's going to watch this, is that I am so much better now. Okay? I am so much better now. And that's the beauty of when you are on that other side, or that frequency, you're just not vibrating in this body anymore. The hardest part is not consciously beaming into this body. And it's the human limitations that make us so afraid, because we have been taught death is so bad. And we have disconnected and don't remember all about those frequencies. And we're told to think that we're supposed to be doomed to repeat a particular story, which is, we do, but it doesn't have to be doomed. It all depends on which mind you're looking through. And the thing is that what do you focus on each day? How do you start your day? You get up, you have a cup of coffee, you're like, oh my God, my brain don't function. Okay, what can you do about it? Besides drink coffee. What can you do about it? Lots. The training of the mind when you first wake up, that twilight is you're about ready to consciously wake up. And so when you're in that state, best thing you can do is say, thank yous. Thank you for my day. Thank you for my kids being happy. Thank you for the food that I'm about to receive. Thank you for the loves and the hugs. Thank you for the money exchange. Thank you for balanced karma. Just thank you. But you have to also witness. That is when you least expect it and something better comes along than how you could even imagine. Acknowledge the fact that you came in agreement with your soul and says, oh, I wanted better and I received it. When you can begin to your day, the hardest part is we can't set our GPS to what we want. So if you can just think happiness, understanding that in order to get your happiness, you may have to let go of the old. Okay? Oh, look at all these beautiful people. Yes, and the thing is just simply be thankful. Okay. And you need to inspire and trust and confidence. How many times have we let our thoughts be driven by our emotions? You just don't feel inspired today. Okay? They're saying that if you could learn how to even just put your hand here like this, you can even tap this. And you put your hand there just for a few minutes and the blood will come back up to your head because you create reality in this frontal lobe. And if your body is already stressed, or if you're thinking of stress, or you're just the thought, you've just made parts of your energy in your blood go into, I just want to hide, I need to fight, I got to force myself. And that can do so much damage to you, but you don't think, it's just a thought. And, and a lot of people are like, you're taking away from my personality. You're trying to take that away. Don't be looking at me. Why do you want to hold on to something that's making you miserable? Because it helps us make sense of our world. We identify with hell, or we identify with sabotage. But when you begin to awaken, you have an urge inside of you that there's so much more than this daily thinking and this feeling. And if you can learn to just hook up yourself to your higher self, and like I said, a lot of people think that they're disconnected. And most of the time you're not. You just don't know how to turn on the light switch. And that is sometimes just shifting your thoughts to my higher self, I'm connected to my higher self. And then you're like, how does my higher self think? And then all of a sudden, as you focus on that, and love. And so you think, okay, what did I love? Oh, I love that nap. Or, I love that bed. I loved it. Simple little things. Love. Oh, I love that smile on my kid's face. Oh, and then all of a sudden what will happen is that you're creating the connection and you're turning the electricity on in that part. And then you can go, oh yeah. And then you just are quiet because you're in that state of bliss. And the next thing you know, your ideas and your thoughts can drift into something better. But if you see you're going back to that negative state, just do this. And you need an exercise. It's the simplest exercise. How easy it's to lay sideways and go, even when you're sleeping. And, do you understand what I'm saying? It can be that simple. There's so many other things you can do to get the energies to happen. And that is like the thymus thump, okay? This is your happy button. This is your healthy button. And if you have negative thoughts, pessimistic thoughts, this thymus starts to shrivel up. And it affects your health. Get it going. Watch happy movies. Think of a joke. Think about happy things. And just tapping, be like King Kong. We can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next to it is the K27s. That flips all of your meridians. The point you can't see is that just below my rib cage, underneath my boob at the bra line, is you tap. And that's the spleen. And when you get this part of you going, and there's another one that's just between the boobs and right at the sternum, and that's like your chi. That's your emotional button. Yeah. Oh, that one's sore. And you just begin to, and what it does is it really can just start flipping everything to go in the direction and to really make you feel better. Okay, we're going to take, and Ashley, I believe is her name. My spirit says, okay, she's super excited. She's calmed down. She's in a space. I think we've connected so that usually when you come see me, if we're not connected, then I'll take a few moments just so that you can get into that space with me so that we can come in alignment together. Okay, so Ashley, if you're here, I gotta get the timer. This may be scary. Not too bad. So if you want a paid reading, then it's 11 for 11. That's going to fall over. The PayPal. Okay. Wow, this is going to, hey, how you doing? PayPal. Let's see. bpower.mw@dr.com. And that's for $11. You're paying for my time and my expertise for 11 minutes. Wow. Okay. Hitting enter would help. There she is. Okay, so let me pin that comment. Now, Miss Ashley, you're new to this. Is there anything specific you want to talk about? Do you want to do a cold read? We can talk like this, or we can talk to each other by phone so that you can get your money's worth. Your call how you want to do it, sweetheart. But you need to, let me know so we can communicate. It's funny as I feel an animal, but I don't quite know. I don't know if you have a favorite stuffed animal. Because it looks like an animal. Mine may have a unicorn or a horse or something, but it's like plush versus an animal that you would pet. So that makes me wonder, do you have a stuffed animal when you were younger, or if it meant something? So, Miss Ashley. All right, I haven't set the start of the time yet. Cold read. Okay. So if you are familiar with this stuffed animal version or something type of an animal that you got stuffed, like in taxidermy, or I never know sometimes what it all means. It's like playing charades. That's the weirdest part for me. Oh, so lean over. All right, Spirit, making it happen. Make it happen. I'm just waiting for something Spirit told me to do. It's my benefit, not for you. They're trying to give me a clue about something. And it's like, what are you referring to would be great. Well, I'll get there, won't I? Okay, so connecting and not connecting. I feel like after this reading, we're going to end up doing something to do with the higher self, because the higher self is coming through anyway. When I'm talking to you, I'm looking at your programs, but it's all of you, your soul, the people from the other side. Okay. Come on. Function. So let's see. Okay. Let's see what happens. Getting this other computer is not. What do you want me to have a pen for? Oh, to write. I can do that. Usually when they do that, they're talking about, oh, here we go. Stuffed animal. We're going to go back to that theory. No. The energy, inside, outside. She can't handle it. Energies outside of you. Is a particular sensory system? No. People? No. Something drives her nuts. Something drives you nuts. That could be a whole host of things. Can you narrow it down? The positive ions. Okay. Positive ions is actually not healthy for the body. It's now my pad just died. Okay, that's fine. So it's getting things to function that is not being able to function because the positive ions are in the way. And they built this city on rock and roll. Why are you giving me that song? Okay, so song is built this city on rock and roll. Really? Okay. Destruction. What age? Oh, turn it on. 1 year old. Were you watching TV? So this is imagined or real imagined. So real imagined is that like when it comes from a TV, it can be, if it's news, then it would be real, but yet it's also imagined because you're trying to figure out something. So if her 1 year old self is trying to figure out something. So the question is, what year were you born, and was there destruction on the planet at the time? Come on, why are you not functioning? So this is, well, my pen's dead. Good job. So when you run out of something, so shame and run out, gotcha. And then you can't stop thinking about it. So it's like a shock. So then your thoughts and emotion is in overdrive. And when that occurred, it affects her. And then you want me to go stay here? No, go to the now. So now it shows up as you distrust people, places. You distrust things. You haven't really put your finger on it, but you distrust things. So as a kid, did you distrust a TV set? Yeah. Well, you got to remember when you were a child, we don't think logical in the sense of what our brains develop. And so you think in a way that causes, no rhyme or reason, but this can equal this, and you're like, but that's 2 plus 5 makes a 1. That doesn't make sense. But to a child, everything is connected in a unique, energetic way. So there was something that she saw, witnessed, felt. Okay. When a TV show or something is deliberately trying to set off an emotion, so are you sensitive, an empath, fear of being alone? So, so now I'm beginning to see something. Did something scare you? And did you pick it up? This is your own. You felt that. All right. Let me just see if she has responded to anything. 1990. Was there anything exciting going on at that time? Because the weird part is that any of this familiar? Give me something. Give me something. Just give me something, because they're pointing out how else now? How else now? That day made you now feel like you have to live through others. So does that mean you wait for basically people tell you what to do? Like for instance, when you're alone, no big deal. Then you're with whoever it is. Then there's this part of you that to keep peace, you just, okay, sure. And you're willing to, it's not, I don't want to say it's like being a martyr, but it's learning to deprive yourself. Did this go into pending? No. Deprecation. So deprecation, thoughts. I didn't do it right. All right. Weird part is just like, it's like a total shock, but it's like you personally really took it as part of your own. Okay, so she says she has a hard time making decisions when other people are around. I would definitely say that's the gallbladder, and it is part of that distrust. So now, okay, so we know that you there's a distrust, and that there's having to live through others. Where? Guilty for having so much? No, guilty for guilt. So you processed what happened to your left brain. If you're just going to use your left brain, you're going to think more rational. At least that's what we tell ourselves. But we're going to get more panicked. We're going to feel like there's no answers. We are going to have to, it's living in an interesting state, because you got to try to control. Got to control the outside. Got to control the outside. Got to control what's happening. Got to control. Oh, I'm being deprived. Only got 2 minutes to figure this out. And so it's not just, it's like you have to be accountable for their time. Was that even yours? Yeah, okay. You have to be accountable for their time. Does that make sense? Be accountable for their time. Is that to be when she was born? 1990 to 1991. Very much picked that up. 1991. Not sure what's going on. Like the example, I was born in Detroit riots. The energy and the chaos that was going on, I absorbed it in as part of my environment. So don't like conflict, like everybody to be happy. So that's good. So that means I made a match there. So let's go a little bit further. So is it because of your element? No. It says that when there's conflict, you store that conflict, and it hurts you physically. It really does. So I'm asking if it's like major or minor, and they said anything, because the way you're observing it, it hurts the body. And when I say to the bone, that's just a phrase that it means it's really stored in there. So, oh, okay, let's look. So in the upper left-hand corner, you visually remembered. What did you remember? That's cute. What is cute? I have no idea. Somebody from the spirit side just is admiring something, and I have no idea. Oh, my picture. Remembered what? Remembered what was on. Remembered the emotions. Remembered what actually happened. Remembered the emotions. What particularly did you remember being overpowered, which is the gallbladder? Overpowered. Was it really dramatic? Show me the thing. Okay, so for a child, most of the time, they live in a different state. But when you begin to ego-wise over-identify with matter, when you begin to wake up, you're like, and you're conscious of what's coming at you. You're conscious of it. And they showed me that you were, the observer part of you was so observant that that conflict that you were observing really happened to you when it didn't. Did it happen to you? No, it didn't really happen to you, but you felt it in such a great demise, is the word they're using, that now it had become a habit, because at that 1-year-old self, you didn't know how to pacify that moment. And so because you didn't know the difference, you took that on as your own. And so fear of change. Okay. Do you have the fear of change? And if it involves other people? They're saying there's a part of you that's ready to make a big decision, but it's going to hurt somebody's people's feelings. But you know, in the long run, you need to get out of there. But it's going to upset the apple cart for everybody else. But here's the thing. Were you born to stay that prisoner? Were you born to stay that? If you begin to take those emotions, and we can transfer those emotions out. Ask your mother, she'll tell you how she did it. We worked together. Over time, it seems hopeless, because what happens is, they said, because it's happened so many times, it just becomes this one part of you that it's always the way it is. It's never going to change. That's an emotion too. That needs to be removed too. When you begin to take those out, it changes the thought, so you don't have to think that way. I mean, you right now have a complete phrase of how you feel and you're thinking, but those emotions, when you discharge and dissolve them out, then the thinking changes as well. And you get that energy that you put into that, you get it back in your body, so that you can actually connect up and hear differently. Oh, Miss Sharon Gordon. And, sorry. What the heck was that about? The way people, it's part of you is like afraid that the loftiness, the overpowering. Yes, you may have experienced it. I'm not denying that. But we need to take that out of the body. We need to take it out of the programmed part of yourself, so that your mind and your heart can come in sync with your soul and with your higher self, so that you can start being born to the life you want, and not one that you felt like you've had to follow. because up until that point, it's like you thought you were making your own choices, but in a way, I think you were groomed to make certain choices the way others wanted. A lot you can heal. Yes, okay, Ashley says, you mentioned something about a stuffed animal pet. I recently lost my dog. I had to put her down recently due to cancer. So, let me just, before I go any further, why is there a stuffed dog? Why do you got this for me? So do you have something you can sleep with at night that reminds you of the dog? Because you can get great comfort from it, or you already are. But they're saying, it doesn't matter, I'm there. He's never really left your side because that part of him, part of her, oh, but she's using yang energy to communicate with you. Oh, that's why I got his. Well, what do you want to say? Oh, so this reading was brought to you by your dog. She knew you better than you knew yourself. And she says, I am standing right next to you. Wants you to make better choices. Oh, good Lord. They're like, no. I send you loving signs through nature, okay? And it doesn't have to be outside. I mean, if you see a butterfly on a meme or flower, you can learn how to build a communication. Does that make sense? Okay. Thank you, Ashley and Lisa. And we can heal that fear of change. Trust me. Oh, she says, I'm getting a divorce. Yes, you're supposed to go. Because you're not living, I don't know how old you are, but you haven't had a life yet. Okay? It's not just the dog, your spirit self, okay? And the guides, they're all saying, and the energy cord is yours. It's just speaking loud. So the question, she says, am I an empath? You have the abilities. You have shut so much of you down. And a major time that you shut yourself down was at one, because when you didn't understand the energies coming off the TV, they hit you in such a shocking way that you started to shut that part down. That's why you get so controlled by the outside instead of listening to the spirit in your heart to be able to say, no, or that's not me. So you're learning. And the best way to do that is to, have hate to say it, you can try to heal yourself, or you can make an appointment with me and we can really knock it out of the ballpark. Good. She says that makes all sense. You're welcome, Lisa. Thank your mom. That was very nice of her to love you so much to gift it. Thank you, Sharon. And Sharon, you're next, honey. Because Sharon says, I sent you some money. That means we get a reading. I'm going to push it back. Sharon, I haven't talked to you so long. You close in your house. Oh, yay, Sharon. Oh, my God, your dream is coming true. Ooh, this is going to be good. Oh, I love that. I love that. Growth. Where's my little button? Where's my little face? Well, it's gone. Switching cookies. Chocolate chip cookies. Oh, my God. Who made a fresh batch of chocolate chip cookies? Oh my God, I can taste them melting in my mouth. I think this is their way of changing. Yes, that would be great. You just connect with me and we'll do it. As far as making an appointment. Who's eating potato chips? Why do I need to know food? God, that tastes good. Well, they're tapping into my taste buds. All right, Sharon. You're next, darling. And you let me know. We can call, we can talk like this, anything specific, we can zero in. Who's been doing that? Who's been wagging the finger? Shame on you. Not to you, Sharon. I'm apparently picking up a lot of resonating energy of what you're all doing right now. And this is part of my transitioning of energy. It's feeling that pain so deep. Are we still talking? When you have a positive ion issue, it is when it is taken to the bone, when it's stored so deep, you don't know you're doing repetitive patterns. Oh, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Oh, those are like my favorite. Anyway, you have no idea you're doing those patterns. So we thank you, Spirit, for helping to show us of a pattern that we're losing power to, so that we can choose better to create our reality. Oh, Easter candy. Me, Susan, potato chips. I don't even like potato chips, but they really are tasty. They remind me of the J's or the Lay's potato chips. I'm not sure where you live, but the names of them, just the plain, not rippled with a little bit of salt. Wow. Talk about a craving and a half. It's not even my craving. Okay, stop it. Now that they all got to help me transist and learn about stored positive ion issues. That's why when the negative ion or the positive ion blow in your way, you can get thrown off kilter. Whatever's ever, okay. Sharon. You're on my mind the other day. Okay, so are the minds of other people, is she reading them? No, but they are influencing her. Are they other people's thoughts are wanting a particular outcome? And you are now becoming more stronger because you're becoming aware of when they are doing their little dance. Ooh, that's good. That's a good one. Especially if they're doing their disdainfulness. So is that true? You're becoming more aware of their patterns that you don't have to take on as your own? Lay's plain. Yeah, that's what I was eating. Toxins, but it's still toxic to you? No. You're beginning to understand the toxic thought patterns. Very good. She's been using crystals. But we have an active memory that comes up. What do you want her to know about this? Sadness. Is that your sadness? No, that's theirs from a long time ago. Yes. And it was because of other people's thoughts and their particular outcome. Now we're going to go back to the age of 6. So at the age of 6, disdainfulness. Okay. If I can get this computer to work, we will be the happiest people on earth here. Because when you have contempt, disdainfulness, I need to find the right wording. And since I can't really reach that computer because it's 1,000 miles away, you pick up on their psychic waves. Because of this active memory? Because that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, gotcha. Because that's what you're supposed to do. Well, you say so. Blah, blah, blah. Disdain. Okay. So picking up on other people's thoughts because of their particular outcome. So you would always see the particular outcome that you were supposed to obey, but you became stronger. So what you felt, so this was aimed at you, so you were not considered one's consideration, you were unworthy or no one's respect. Oh, I see. How many people? One particular person, it's not the sister, somebody at school, 6 years old, and the nastiness, what, their or hers? Okay, so when they acted that way, your inherited defensiveness. So the way that you defend yourself, the inherited part of how your family did it, has kicked in. Oh, that's odd. So they just said the particular outcome is that you're supposed to feel attacked. No, be attacked. To attack. No, what are you trying to say? Try it again. Particular outcome. So the emotion of the particular outcome of being deprived by being attacked. Gotcha. That's when they got confused. So we have to separate those. Because you can be attacked, but don't have to be deprived. But if you're attacking yourself or other people are attacking you, or you're picking up the vibes that other people are attacking you, then you will go into an automatic deprived. Now, you've been really good at not letting that happen, but they said this active memory, it is important to take care of the inherited defensiveness, always having to respond this way. So, and you know how you respond, because what it does is it puts up a wall. And that next part of you, because it puts up a wall, it puts up a wall from listening to spirit. Oh, yeah. So it really shuts down your abilities. And so then the only thing you see happens to be that repetitive 6-year-old experience, and then the inherited way you defense. So we would have to define like how you put up that wall. Can we remove that wall without? We have to know, because she's actively learning how she does a defense. 5 what? Part of that defense is the moment you feel inferior. Because you can be strong, but it is a trigger of the inferior. They said that you can heal out how that inferior is. Because we've worked together, you can hold R1S for that. And they said that because when you feel inferior, you do not have to hold on to that as a warning sign. That just kicks it into the strategy of protecting yourself, which doesn't really protect yourself because you lose power. They said if you let go of that by holding R1S, and letting go is allowing yourself to not stay in the will, letting you willing that to stay the same. You have to be willing to let that change. Deprived. Do you want her to heal that one? 2. Okay. So you think because they want a particular outcome, you always have to be deprived. That's also an R1S. So, and then your stubbornness. Stubbornness makes you strong because you're like, no, thank you. I don't want to do what you want me to do. But the stubbornness is that you're cheeky because there's a part of you that wants to, it's a feel-good state. It's like, yeah. That feeling that goes with that is like a pin. If we pull out the pin, then the rest of that storyline will start to dissipate. That feeling, like I said, it's R1S, it's stubbornness, R1S. Where are you going? The other part of that is how, what age did you do that? At 6 years old, because of an incident that occurred, you go home and do self-beating up, so self-abuse, as if I shouldn't have said that, I should have said it this way. So it's that thoughts that just go, 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 go. Does that make sense? She says, got the job. Your life is really changing for a wonderful, wonderful thing. Well, the thing is, Sharon says, well, she doesn't, her work partner didn't want her to leave. Well, no, because she's got no one to boss around anymore. And that's not you anymore. You're completely a different woman. Yeah, we got to get that higher self back. Yeah, okay, so you get the pattern of what they're asking you to do. And when you begin to heal those states, okay, I just keep hearing inner crying. You haven't done that in a while, but you haven't allowed yourself to mourn neither. So you get into that one particular state and then you beat yourself up, but you don't allow yourself to, what do you need to inner cry about, honey? Why am I not compatible? Is it to anyone? To those kind of people? Well, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to see where your energy is stuck, and you repeat the hell, and when you resolve that, then your energy comes back. But the thought processing is you have to understand that you can't mourn for those. Okay, so this woman tried to control me, never knew it before, and I'm a nice person, and I couldn't understand why she was so mean. And I asked that same thing as far as, why is it that she doesn't like me? I feel like I'm hooking myself up to the wrong, car. And they said that mainly that was the habit of the heart. And I thought that had meaning. And they're saying, no, it was that feeling of the uncertainty with her. And I didn't want to feel that. And so I kept getting stuck in this particular loop over and over. They said that this is what's happening to you. So that inner crying, sometimes they say that you may get depressed because of the uncertainty of why it happened. Oh, so you're hooked into the uncertainty. Getting rid of R1S. Oh, you're in the same bond again. R1S. It's that uncertainty. Okay, so when you start to remove those emotions, those thoughts will change. Stare at those thoughts. Will that help her get closer to her higher self? Yes. Yes, it will. Because these were major, they look like big, huge cement blocks, not bricks, cement blocks. And they seem to be that weight upon your shoulder because you were trying to make sense out of something that was not meant to be compatible. Yeah, see, you no longer can be in sync in with it. It's like my ex, we're two great people, but no longer can connect, be in sync, and therefore it's, doing the right thing for your soul, not what other people think. Well, that was wonderful. I love that. Thank you, Sharon, for that moment. Just double checking to make sure that there's no more paid readings. Okay, so where's my what we're going to do okay, so we know that we talked to Sharon, we talked to Lisa. What I want to do all right, so there's 8 people here. I don't know if there's any more. I want you to say here. Nobody comment anything else, just say here. I want to see those 8 people because Spirit has something as far as what the higher self wants to say. Your higher self wants to say. So I need to hear. So we know Sharon's already talked, so that's 1. So 7 people. Okay, so you got a lot of homework, Sharon, and a lot of great news came your way, and so grateful your life's changed. Okay, Leon. What we're going to do, Because of everybody that says here, I'm going to do, hopefully it's not too much, I'm going to do 2 minutes. I'm going to tell you what your higher self wants you to address. Okay? Leon. There's this helplessness energy that you feel from others, and you're drawn to doing to help. But what happens is that when you go to do a kind act, there's this lack of control. Because it's like when you give, I think there's a book, if you give a pig a cookie, then he's going to ask for a glass of milk. If you give him a glass of milk, he's going to ask for this. So it's like, there's like, when do you stop? When do you draw that line of kindness before it becomes where the taker takes too much? And that is, you have to learn to draw the lines and start drawing in, saying, thank you, Spirit, for letting me help those that, are in divine alignment with me. Because like I go to the store, I'll say, here's the $5 to the person behind me or next in line, and then I'd walk away. When you give, you don't care how they use it. That's not your job. But at the same time, you can start giving because you have that energy, and you can give, and you still can get that flow of love that happens. But learning how to understand, it's not those that are just helpless, because some people use helpless as a badge, and that's the only way that they bring income in, and they don't have no other way of wanting to do it. And there's a part of you that panics and has anxiety, and then you can't be yourself because you're not going to be received properly. Your higher self says you need to really put your hand like this and stop and let the blood come back up so that you create reality. Tap here so the emotions start to get under control, and allow yourself to stop worrying. When you do that, anytime you worry, it's just a pattern, because you don't need to keep going into that space. Does that make any sense? Amy, you're next. They're the hysterical. You get very emotional or loud in emotion, and some people mistake that is that you're off your rocker. But that's how you respond. And basically, I feel the energy that your higher self is like, as soon as that's how you respond, people are correcting you. And you're like, but that's just me. And so you feel like you don't have the right to be you. So you become very self-conscious of what's right and wrong. And you surround yourself with these people to learn a particular lesson of how your panic controls your world. So you can put your hand up here and begin to help how you feel panicked. Panicked when you're about ready to feel embarrassed, about how you interjection, hey, the interjection of the way you speak. So, about noticing the pattern, I'm invalidated. Okay, they don't validate me. So you'll be talking about something and they're like, and then they interject and put their own thoughts in. And you have to understand that you know what it's like to be dishonored. You know what it's like. But the problem is you haven't let go of what that's like. Because you haven't let go of that, it keeps repeating itself. And you have to just, you can do this too. And you can think about it. That's this will help so you don't have to be so stressed. Make an appointment with me. We can get those out even further. But it will help to change the energies around you so you don't keep drawing those people to you. Because your higher self said that there's a part of you that obsesses about how you were corrected about that particular thing. So then your thought pattern goes boom, 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 boom. All right, just stop doing that. Lisa Hildebrand, you're next. What's funny is the first word that comes up is that it's shame. But shame is irrelevant. It's like you feel and embody this shame. and which is what made you a really strong woman today to be able to stand up for your rights. But the problem is the root of that shame is affecting your energy inside the body. So much so, they said that it causes the energy disruption in your lymphatic system, which changes your moods and disrupts your digestive process in like the gallbladder. So the energy is not moving. So that you have to heal the shame. You have to take that out. This is such an awesome tool. Nobody understands how important that is. But the idea of you're going to be hated if you actually get a thrill, because when you feel like somebody's going to hate you. So, so they're showing me that this pattern is those are the combinations, and you're going to draw people that are going to be wanting conflict so that you can become stronger. Well, your body says, oh my God, you have learned that lesson. Can we just let that go? Because we're so done with that. If that makes any sense. Your higher self says that please kick that habit to the curb and pull that out by the roots, because you can be stronger through spirit and your higher self in your heart. And you become intuitively that divine love and energy. Okay, so let me see who's next. Tracy Van something. Okay. Yeah, I can read you. You're not that hard to read. What are you being attacked of? Of indecisiveness. Yours? Others. Who drives you nuts? You become very intolerant. You don't have the patience for that. It's like, just make a decision already. It really triggers something inside of you, but that's inherited. You pick that up from your family of this is the way you're supposed to respond. Okay. Disapproved. So you are meant to see that you disapprove of, you disapprove it. So there's a particular lens. Which are you referring to? Because you know you don't want to do that, but you're wrestling with yourself. And so they said left side, and it's like you remember. So left side's about remembering. You kept hearing. What did you constantly keep hearing? Change who you are, change. So it's not that you have to live that way, but you just feel like no matter what you decide upon, you have to change. You have to change. And so when you see other people do it, you're like, you don't want to change anymore. You want them to change. But then you're also seeing a projection of yourself of that you had to hurry up and make decisions. You had to hurry up and make decisions. And I feel like your part of you is stuck because it's not that you turned to other people to get the answer. You're just taught that you have to pick. And the higher self said, don't do that anymore because it demoralizes who you are. Look up the word. And it causes the hystericalness inside of you, even though you're calm on the outside. And you don't, it's just an automatic response. You put your hand here to help train your body to not have an automatic response. Shh. Okay. Just take a second here. Come on, work. Well, Lordy B. Me and technology today is not in the cooperation. Isn't that interesting? All right. Why don't I want to type this? That's interesting. So other people make you lose confidence or hope. So when you start making those particular decisions, it makes you lose that confidence and hope. Okay. All right, come on, move. Catherine. All right. Do you have a mother that's on the other side? And energetically, you don't know how to communicate because, all right, fine, turn it on. It's a very strong mother figure, whether it is someone that acted like a mother or was a grandmother, whatever, it was like really strong. It says that to be able to communicate, because there's repulsed energy. No, it doesn't have to be an emotion. It can be just that the energies are not magnetically coming together properly. So it makes the hearing, because she says, remember when I scorned you as a kid? It's stuck there. And my voice is in your head about how I scorned you. Because of that, you can't hear her now. It's literally a block. You can EFT that out. You can make an appointment, pull that out. But you got to take that old voice of her out. Because you always felt that if I can't be good, then I'll be bad. Or in this case, she always saw me as bad instead of good. And there's a great panic that if you actually connected who you were with your mother, then you're going to get scorned again. So why would you want to spiritually connect her? The silent brooding that developed at such a very young age, you don't even know you're doing, which is that you're seething underneath towards the situation. And so there's a part of you that kind of repeats the situation. You're not even aware that you're repeating, if that makes any sense. You want me to talk more about the silent what? Arrested development. Because you had to go quiet, you didn't get to develop your ability. What ability? Ability about what? About the relationships with people. So the connection with people. It's like you haven't really learned how to do that because all you have is that scoring card in your head. And so that kind of filters anybody else that's coming into your particular space of relationships. Thank you, Leon. Spot on. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, yes, all the time. Amy, thank you. Lisa, yes, thank you. Oh, very good, Lisa. You're welcome, Tracy. Okay, so no. Catherine Fisher says no on something. Yes, grandmother. Okay, yes. Oh, then that would make sense. Yeah, so so each one of you got something. I hope that was good. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out. So now, who? Oh, ouch. So sometimes someone will hurt themselves and they won't even know they're doing it, like I just did. It was an example. And it's like when stop having those thoughts, so then you hurt yourself. You know, like, oh, you're excited. You're thinking that you expect somebody to be there for you. And you know that you shouldn't. And so you kind of hurt yourself as to a way to make yourself stop thinking something. So there's that particular part of punishment. This is old way of thinking that you have to punish yourself because that's what you learned as a kid. Resonating energies. All of you have a tendency to resonate with your environment. Let's say you're watching TV and your brainwave is in that relaxed state, and so you're in a hypnotized state to some degree, but you don't even have to do that. You could be in the kitchen or you could be doing whatever. Your mind can even be high beta people. They don't usually resonate. High beta people, which is you have beta like you and I talking right now, but high beta is when you're complete in stress. the blood's gone from your forebrain. Maybe you only got 20% left, and you're stressed. You're trying to control it. You're trying to think things out. And so you're like, oh, and so you're narrowing it down. That energy can be put out, and people then all of a sudden pick up on that. And then there's a whole host of ways that people will resonate when people act that way. Some people will become extremely worried. Some people will become very indifferent, or other people will become panicked. Some people have to swallow their pride and not be themselves. Some people, it'll trip off their insecurities. So you can be on a bus. Now, what's interesting is that I don't like to take transportation. Getting on a bus. And what happens is that if somebody is trying to exert themselves, there was a New Year's Eve, and me and my husband were trying to come home. And so we took the bus. It was no big deal. It was my experience. But that exertion of power that I'm going to demand, I'm going to kill somebody if I don't get my way. Oh, my God. It set a tremble off in me, such in a degree that I began to shake. I could not stop, because not only did I feel this person and the gang that they were with, the group of friends, but I was feeling the people individually in them. But then everybody on the bus, and it was standing room only, and so I couldn't really ground myself. And my husband is standing there. I can't really reach him, and I'm like, oh my God. And so I tried to use my eyes to focus on a person, but then my mind and my body would go, resonate, you're picking it up. And then I went from a whole range of emotions, because then somebody was picking on somebody and you could feel how they had to stop. And then you feel other people are going to get angry and they're going to get up at any minute to stop and knock this effer out, and it just, oh my gosh. And then somebody gave me a spot and I sat down, and there was a gentleman sitting next to me. But the interesting part is that his energy grounded me. So I don't know what element he was, probably earth. I looked at him and I'm like, I'm so sorry, because I'm kind of like leaning towards him. And then my husband found me, put his hand on my shoulder, and I'm like, okay, so I'm grounding, but I could feel these other things. But I was worried. I kept looking at this one person, and later he was telling me that person, my daughter's up there and way ahead. That's why I was just like looking. And then I finally just had to get off the bus. Me and my husband decided we'd walk a few blocks before we picked up some other type of transportation home, because that bus was just, it was unreal. It's like, it's not like it happens all the time, but it's not that it left a bad taste in my mouth. It was just, no way. I learned a lot, resonating energies. So you need to, and I did use my tools, I put my finger in my belly button and then my third eye and pushed in and lift up at the same time. But at the same time, I was supposed to learn, because that's what I am, as a healer and a teacher. So I'm meant to feel this resonating energies. So it's amazing how one person can set the tone. And I keep praying and healing and saying thank you so that I can set the tone to change it. But that day, I was really meant to learn what it meant about resonating energies, and when you're not grounded or you're not, but those things can get stuck in you. Okay? Any questions? Anybody have any questions about anything that I've said so far that you're still unsure about? Because we can do this questions, or just ask me a question and I can answer. Oh, Catherine, and that's the thing. You begin to, if your intention is that you're supposed to learn about your purpose and your life and you're a healer and all that, okay. But there are things that do work. I'm going to tell you. Me and my husband went on a date this weekend, and the Sentinel Angels, so there's one street in particular that has a lot of hatred towards women, and the energy is very low, and it's the frequencies, and oh my God, the Sentinel Angels. So I know I just said that wrong. And when I first flew over here, I ended up getting on a plane, and I never have gone anywhere. But my wonderful friend Jennifer was praying. She says, okay, and she prayed, and I know she works with angels. And so she asked the sentient angels to protect me. And I didn't pick anybody up. I mean, everything was awesome. And the moment I got off the plane, and then I saw my husband-to-be at the time, all of a sudden I felt the angels leaving. I'm like, no, don't go. I'm still in the middle of people. So when I was walking down the street this weekend, I had two standing on each side of me. I was so fully aware of it. It's like, oh, I noticed my thoughts. It was just like, oh, a few things. Oh, and then all of a sudden we went down, it's really crowded, and then all of a sudden I felt them all around me. And I'm like, Helen, no, I'm not picking anybody up. This is awesome. I mean, it was just me. I'm like, I'm afraid there's nothing. Yeah, it was just, oh. So sometimes you can call in the angels, just, okay, thank you for protecting me. And literally begin to notice that your thoughts don't have to go wild and your emotions don't have to go wild and you don't have to pick people up. And so whatever it is Susan needs, thank you, Spirit, for the angels, and, so be it. Because whatever it is, it'll help you move things out of your way, to clearing the path, to balancing it out, or removing energies. But we're going to just say thank you, Spirit. Come in agreement with Susan's prayers that healing takes place. Leon says, feeling insecure in my relationship and where my life is going. But the thing is if you are, your first clue, insecure, remove it out. There's emotional freedom technique. I use hope therapy. You come to me, I'll say, okay, hold a certain point, and you're like, but this is how I identify with it. But the point is that, yes, I'm so glad you recognize it, but if you're going to want to keep it, then you really don't want to change relationships because you want to keep how you identify with insecurity. So remove the emotion, dissolve it out. It's only a chemical peptide. And the thoughts will show you what type of emotion it is. And EFT, even if you were just, if you need free healing tools, then, it's on my one website, and that's medicine woman, the number 4, the letter u.weebly, WEEBLY.com, and look for healing tools, healing tools, and you'll see a drop-down menu. Look for EFT. You want to disrupt those. Hope therapy is what you make an appointment with me. And when you take and remove the insecurities, then the people that you're supposed to be with, you'll align better. You won't have those blocks. So it's so important that when you understand where your life's going, it's only going to be repeated from the pattern and the program from the past. But if you take those out, then you'll have the ideas, the path alignment, and things and opportunities will pop out of nowhere. Thank you, Catherine. Catherine says, working with the tools that you gave me is helping. And you have to be consistent, so it'll make a big difference. Finding your life purpose. Here's the thing. What do you love? If you can't allow yourself to love something, because then you need to heal that out. But if you have something you love, like I would have never dreamed this is where I was going to be if you asked me 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I just figured I'd be working from somebody and barely making, a job, just over broke. And that's what I'm doing now. But no, the point is I'm doing what I love. I found my purpose because I wanted to solve an issue. Not because I was forced, because I had the question. And my question was, what is hands-on healing? How do I help my mother? And, because I read that in the Bible, I'm like, I gotta know this. And so then that was driven to get that answer. And the more that I healed my crap from the past, the more my purpose started to show itself. And it basically what I was loved. And then I said, well, how can I make it anything more than what I have? Oh, I didn't give them a reading? Wasn't that funny? The dang thing must have jumped. No, hold on. It just moved again. Okay, and are they, so Susan, I think, is here. And Natalie's here. I'll give you it. So we'll go Susan first because I'll lose that name because I can see Natalie. So Susan, we'll give you a 2-minute higher self read. Time and space, switching time and space. What are you doing to me? There's a part of you that lives in the past. Susan, a part of you that lives in the past and that repeats past, wishing and longing that something was. You'll never be able to see your future or your purpose because you're longing. Well, that's based on who? Lives through. You live through something that should have been. Okay, well, the point is that why are you still there? And that's based on an emotion? No. Their higher self said it's based on the environment. Your environment dictates that you're never going to be anything. I'm sorry, but you are. You can't let the environment tell you anything different. Go lay on the floor and look under the couch. You'll see a different perspective. You'll see a different perspective. Learning to change this is learning to see a different perspective. Stand on your head. Learn a different perspective. How would somebody else see it? Learning a different perspective, because they show me that you become very deficient and your right brain loses to the left brain. So you have to think logically because it's not right to think positive all the time. So I feel like that's a really old paradigm of belief systems that are infiltrating and influencing that this is the way you have to be. So it is creating a particular habit. But you're so depleted because it drains you. Okay, so if in your environment it's too many people, too many places, too many things, you literally going to have to get up, say, excuse me. And so you have to literally change things by, it's like the urgency of having to go to the bathroom. Get up, find a new perspective. Go sit somewhere. Go ask Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me different perspectives. Thank you for showing me how to change my environment. Thank you. So be it. It is done. Natalie. Curiouser and curiouser. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel you distant and floating away. Oh, wait, are you even in the room? Oh, thank you, Catherine. So maybe I'll wait a second. Natalie, if you're here. Because if that energy is... Yeah, share this video afterwards too. Have a watch party. That's good. Maybe she stepped out of the room. Hey, Trina, is that your brother in real life? I don't know. All right, you know what? Natalie, sweetheart, I'm not going to give you a read until I know you're in the space. I don't know what's happened. Don't know where you went. But I'll give, wait for Natalie. I don't see her. But Pilly and Trina. Oh, Natalie, you're here. All right. Okay, let's do this, Nat. Yeah, you must have walked away or something, or your attention span. Whew. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Countdown. You have to constantly count down to handle the world consciousness. You have to learn to control your emotions based on what's happening through the world. So do you get really involved into the way the world functions, with the news and all of this? 1A, what are you talking about? Because of insecurity, you go to the news to get security, which then creates you to be insecure. And I'm going to tell you to get what? Because you always have to have an agenda to get things done. So it's how you self-motivate, or how something to do with motivation, something to do with, what are you trying to say? Well, awkward? Where are you going with this? This is a kind of read. Well, I don't understand. Where are you going? Your energies are all scattered. Oh, well, duh. Okay, so you do the Wayne Cook posture, which we have only 38 seconds. I'll show you in a few minutes. The Wayne Cook posture. We got to get your brain to communicate so that you don't have all this over too much in the right or over into too much to the left. You don't need to go from one extreme to the other. So it's like a bipolar effect. We have to get your brain to come in sync, the brain to come in sync. And there might be some more stuff that has to do, but it's an automatic response. And that is once what happens, and then you get an automatic response. When you feel awkward, boom, you go into scatteredness. It's just a natural reaction. Well, it doesn't have to be. We will help train your body. And then you need to tap out emotions of awkwardness, or make an appointment with me, and we'll get rid of awkwardness and the different levels. And then you use a Wayne Cook posture. Again, go to, don't go www, it won't work. Medicine Woman, the number 4, the letter U, .weebly.com, and then look under healing tools, and then look for Wayne Cook posture. And I said, all right, Trina, you're next. Oh, cool, the brother and sister. Wonderful, Trina. Oh, don't know if you have a headache or you had a blow to your head. It feels like there's like not a lot of energy. Oh, that's terrible, Pilly. Pilly, I will still give you a card and maybe do a read, but you can always listen to it hopefully afterwards, because it could be just your connection. Just remember, it's at the 1 hour and 36. It's beyond that. But Trina, ready? Wow, Jesus. There's like a lot of energy going through. So is there a muscle, nerve, tension? You have a lot of tension. Blood, fascia, tension. So it's a particular emotion. So I feel like a particular emotion was a blow to the head. 5 years old. Did it affect? Okay, no. What is it? What is it? What is it? So you might have been, whatever state you're in, whether you went unconscious or whatever, the engram. So everything seems the same, and it's other people's thoughts. So is there everything? How many things? 3 particular things that mean the same. So what are they? Are they all negative? Yes. Color, sound, smell. You're giving me things will taste, and then the self-talk will make it taste. And that's based on feeling attacked. So sometimes you'll be eating and you'll feel like you're being attacked by how the way you chew or the way that things are, or is just but you feel like you're being attacked. And is that, oh, okay. And then that will come in as rejecting something out of your reality. So rejecting something. You're like, I don't want to see that. And so you've rejected anything particular, person, place, or thing. It's just that you're rejecting that feeling. I don't want that. I don't want that. So sometimes you don't even know what it is, but you feel like you're being attacked by that. All right, what else? And anything to do with anything that creates an instability, somehow your taste. So I would disconnect the taste to those 3 emotions. So when you're tapping out, you can be looking straight down, and then you can release the, what do you call it? You'll release those emotions I just said, and because you have to recognize that the tasting of it, whatever happened, everything is hooked into the sensory system of taste. And so re-listen to those emotions and look down, tap the emotion out as you look down, and maybe move your eyes up and then down again, but get it out. If not, make an appointment with me, we'll remove it. Pilly, All right, sweetheart. Oh, she had a car wreck first. Yeah, well, it affected the way that you took things in, and you must have tasted something when that particular thing happened. Okay, if nobody wants to pay for a reading, then what I will do, because it's on there, PayPal stuff. Okay, don't put www because I can't afford to pay so I had to do a free version. Medicine Woman for you. .weebly. There you go. .com. Cheapers. Did I spell it medicine right? Close enough. You guys will get it. The Medicine Woman for you. Okay. What? I can't share my link because it goes against community standards. Well, I can't do that now because it'll close my show. Wow. Isn't that interesting? Wow. I'm not going to get lost in that. I'll put it on there. Well, they said it's right there. Whatever. Didn't know I couldn't share my own website. Pilly. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So it's like a lot of shock. Just recent? Sure. But they're talking about it 3 years old. Oh my God. Something tragically happened, like a death in the family, something bad in the world, something happened inside the household. It's a complete shock. Your higher self is like, and you haven't been able to really feel connected with spirit or the synchronicities. You do your best, but you feel like you're just missing something. You're just missing something. They're saying that, and then that creates a panic in yourself. But all you're doing is that you're still connected to your higher self, but it's that everything got dislodged, disrupted. And they said the particular emotion in general is just the oh my God. Okay. Well, what do you want her to do? Yeah, it's creating you to be, is she in? No. Tell me more about it. It's a bell going off. The bell going off means it's always going to continuously ringing. It makes you absent-minded. This is where I'd say get a magnet or use your hand and you just go bell and you do this. How many times do you want her to do it? Okay. Bell, absent-mindedness. Bell, absent-mindedness. Bell, absent-mindedness. You can do that a few more times you want. What happens is that this is the governing meridian and it comes this way. But when emotions get lodged in that particular part, and in this case, it's absent-mindedness and it's a bell. It's continuously ringing, 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 ringing. What will cause this is that will then make you feel like it's constantly there. That's why I keep hearing, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So remove that out. Remove that out. And when you're done, you put your finger in your forehead and then your belly button and hold this so that it brings that governing meridian energy minus what you just healed out, the bell, and it'll help connect as above, below, creates that egg inside. They say that the outcome of feeling disapproved. I don't know if it's because of the color of your skin or your name or where you're from, but they say you can constantly feel that in your heart. And it pretty much makes you feel alone. If that's the case, heal it out. Come see me or make an appointment, whatever. But the point is you don't need to believe that, because if you change, again, listen, if you guys change that emotion and that belief, take your will off the belief, Yes, it happened. You don't need to take up residency and live there, but take that off. Then the law of attraction, okay, your inner world creates your outer world. And if you start pulling out and changing that, your will go back into your body. The emotions will be a memory or dissolve, and the memory will be a memory. And then the energy will change. So you stop bringing that repetitive experience again and again and again. So there is... So that's important for you to guys understand, okay? All right, going to just check one more time to make sure I'll be here tomorrow night. All right, I don't see any mail, so I'm assuming no one paid for anything. And those that paid, I really appreciate it. Those that stayed, namaste. We really want, as we spiritually, we really want that emotional and mental health. We really want you to be able to connect with that higher self and your heart and your soul. And, if any of you want if you're here, I may even learn how to do it live. Oh, that was interesting. Reiki. I'm going to start doing the Reiki 1. And they're setting it up to help you understand the chakras. They're helping you set it up. Because, Reiki's Reiki, but because I have a fire dragon Reiki, the Norbalinka, then there's offshoots. And I want to teach all those things that you could learn, because when you do Reiki, there's a set of way of thinking, and you basically got to find the answers for yourself. But there is different ways. The Reiki that I was attuned to was the same from Mikao Usui, but it's about also spiritual enlightenment. It's help you develop it's about that development, okay? Helping you get into the Christ consciousness. So, we're all good? Yeah. All right, you guys are great. Pilly is from this life? Yeah. We're really looking at age 3 is when a major awareness of, I don't know if you think you felt you were different, but you just, something happened. There's probably more to the story. Do you want a reading now, Leslie? Because tomorrow I can send in for a reading for tonight. Tomorrow night is when I have my show, which I don't know where you're from, because it could be morning tomorrow. We can do it right now. I don't have to end it. I can just do, if you're doing a paid reading, we can take care of it right now, so you don't have to wait. So I'll just wait a second, make sure it was sent, huh? Nope, wrong button, Brenda. Why isn't it picking it up? If it's PayPal, remember it's bpower.mw@dr.com. And some people put V, some people forget the period. I'm waiting to see. Even if you don't have a memory of your childhood, does it feel familiar? If it feels familiar, you can heal that out. Well, thank you, Catherine. Okay, so you work tomorrow. If you want it now. All right, I'm not getting any. Leslie, if you sent money, it didn't come through PayPal. Yep, I put my right email in there. I'll refresh it, but usually it comes right through. You little Facebook. Everything must be a solar flare. Take that out. We'll try it again. Think we got it. Hold on. Being a little poo-poo here, huh? And we have Leslie. Yes, sweetheart, we got it. Okay. All right. You 11 minutes. Clear. So you tell me what you want to talk about. You tell me what it is, or I just do a cold read. I feel short again. Why am I doing that? Whew. Clear your head. I am. No, her. Okay. All right, I'm gonna wait for, hopefully she, because of that. Oh, okay, she got a heart. Cold read. I mean, the spirit will just come through, tell you what you need to heal or address or to resolve. Somebody from the other side. And it says that you have problems with interacting with the environment. Were you accused of glitches? You know what I mean by glitches? Just things won't match up. I don't think. Oh, okay, wonderful, Pilly. All right, so Leslie, that's that delay response. Yes, okay. I'm not sure who this is. They're not presenting themselves fully. Interaction with what? Okay, so there's an interaction with uncertainty. That seems to be your MO, your motivation. They said something about you really identify with being uncertain. Because that's what the world of consciousness says it is, because everything's uncertain. So you have to prepare for the uncertain. Oh, were you a Girl Scout? You have to always be prepared? No, there's something else. It's the structure of how you've grown up. Does that make sense to you? Does that make any sense to you? Okay, well, didn't show it. Psychic. She is? He. All of a sudden, my brain just went, wow. Oh my God, I'm just like propelled back into an explosion. I mean, the energy succussed me back. What is that? Because it's that feeling of flying backwards and not landing yet, but you can feel like being hit. You're like, was it other people's emotions of this? Was it of this lifetime? Yes. 7 years old. The structure of the family. World belief. And then you have to be inferior. Have to be inferior. You have to learn how to live like a psychic with them because they change the freaking rules on you all the time. Is that true? Or is it the succussion that makes it? Does this make any sense to you? I mean, literally, I haven't landed yet. I feel like that's what's, I'm not sure what's happening in my hair, but I feel like I'm still, do you understand what I'm saying? I need confirmation on this. Okay, switch. Oh. Okay, we'll switch. 1A. Insecure. Bitterness. Awkwardness. Uncertainty. Those are the 4 that create a wall. that causes you to feel very inadequate. When you feel those four, but when you feel adequate, she said yes. Okay, when you feel inadequate, there's a certainty of it that you feel like you're consciously grounded. So let me get this straight. I feel you suspended, being blown back. Are you blown back by those emotions? No, there's literally something that made you blown back. Okay, but during the process, to feel like that, because like I said, you haven't landed. When you want to feel like you're grounded, you have those, so you have to feel inadequate to feel like you're not, I don't want to say spiraling out, because you're not, you're just floating backwards. And it's affecting, well, it's not my heart, my heart's over here, but it's affecting like, what is that, the gallbladder part? Well, gallbladder's down here, but energetically, meridian-wise. So as I'm feeling the pain in my arm and in my chest, Jesus, were you hit? Because all of a sudden I just got a punch in my freaking chest and it hurt. No, you feel like you're never alone, never alone. So the angels are causing a safety first. The interaction with uncertainty. Do you want to get off this crazy ride? Yes. Oh, thank God. I should ask you. Do you want to get off this crazy ride? Oh, it's anxiety. Oh, you're blowing at me. But anyways, this. Oh, what the fuck is that? You want to get off this crazy ride? Okay. Way down south in Dixie. I don't know where you're from, but I just heard that. Are you living somewhere where there was war? Are you energetically in the space? There was some type of war in your space. Do you understand that? On the land, in that space, there was war. Where your house is, where you're living, where you're at, you do you resonate with it? No, but you do your self-talk. You give instructions so that you don't have to feel the anxiety. Okay, gotcha. Good. But what about that space? Because it's anxiety. So are you you're completely repulsed there. What happens is that particular land, I don't know where you live. I live across an old water mill. Oh, hold on. Ooh, is it the water? It brings the emotions in. You live across from it, but is it where her house dwells? Okay, the dwelling. There is an emotional bomb that, do you understand? Thoughts, emotions, memory. It's like stuck right there. Your body's kind of repulsing from it, and because you feel that this is not yours. It's not about that you have to move. You're meant to experience the repulsion aspect because of the awkwardness, and loftiness, because it reminds you of a particular time when you were younger. That's why you chose it. Well, does that mean that she has to keep experience it there? No. She can resolve? No. She has to let go of the emotions of awkwardness and anything particular. They said pay attention to your reaction. Pay attention to your reaction, because your reaction What? What are you saying? You just said reaction, then you put me in no state. Oh, okay, so your reaction is to really not to think. But it still affects you. So you've learned to pacify and with this. What do you want her to remove so that she can live there without having it? Well, there's a part of feeling that the justice wasn't served. There's something that's ongoing. Then that's what I would definitely say. If you take and you hold on to your PayPal. Okay, I need to stop this just for a second. If you're putting bpower.mw at dr.com, it should go right to me. There should be nothing that goes to electric company. Somebody had put bpower.mw.weebly, and that's not correct. That's part of the old website, but it's the PayPal. Go to PayPal, put in bpower.mw. bpower.mw at dr.com. Do you know what? I'm talking to Leslie. You're used to people cutting you off. Is that? Oh, wait, it's part of the reaction. Oh, I overthink everything. Okay, but that's, hold on. That's after the effect, but that's not the reaction you're looking for. The reaction is right after. Yeah, you are still all over the place. Isn't that interesting? Because of that thing. And we said that it has to do with that awkwardness, and it has to replay and go back to that particular state. Now, see, if you were working with me individually one-on-one, I would just tell you to start holding some points. Because if you did R2S, then I would have you think of worry. And then I would have you think of disgraced. And then I would have you go into the feeling of how you use the reaction of indifference to not feel those so that you can control the anxiety. But the root of it is still there and still affects you deeply, which causes the great overwhelm, which goes back to contemplating too much. And the only way to tell you how to do R2S, if you can go to my website and see the video, but right hand under the thumb, 1, 2, 3, okay? First, second, third, right hand, right wrist, second position, and then you hold it soft, nice and soft, not deep, but soft. Put your finger here, wrap your fingers around and do this. And you hold it like this. You can even tap and do this. Breathe, think. Go back and re-listen to what we said. Work it out. And you think of that. R2S, worry. Okay? And then they want you to notice that if you're going to think about awkward in there as well, you think it that you have to feel it's part of the strategy. But awkwardness is like this pivoting point. You don't need it, okay? Shh, turn that darn thing back on. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Let's see where you're at. Okay. So Leslie, you have invading energies, feeling attacked. So you're invading energies, somebody else's. They feel like they creep up your feet. It changes the ions in your body. What is it? When somebody makes you feel irrelevant. It's like when you're speaking and your words don't matter. They interject and have their own. You can kind of feel, that's why you took awkwardness, because you didn't want to feel irrelevant. Look that word up, find the exact feelings in the words, and you'll see the trigger. And they say you still hold R2S. Because what you don't really want to feel is self-centered people. Those self-centered people is what made you blow. And if you start pulling those out, then you should be able to not be repulsed where you live and pick up the energies from the water. You should be able to pull that out. If not, make an appointment and we'll start to correct all that. They're saying now at this point you have some of the tools, take action. Use EFT to disrupt it. As soon as you start to feel the worry, the anxiety, and all this, and the regurgitating of thoughts, begin to do EFT, meridian therapy, emotional freedom technique. You can do that. You have butterflies in your feet. Well, yeah, because your feet aren't touching. Well, you don't have to associate with negative people because that fills your quota of the hell you're in. We got to get your little world back. That's your sacred space. Because without that, then, yeah, you may have to have me because this is so freaking huge. You may watch this, do the healing, repeat it, and then go from there. Okay. Next person is, I didn't say select, I said open. I know you have a different name up there. It is Zovanda Alanis. That is the correct amount. Can you, I probably said it completely. You're welcome. Oh, we don't need you to go in depression because that's when you can't, you're trying to control that without going there. Heal that out, heal the emotions out, change the frequency of where you live, and then you should be able to come back from feeling like you're being blown in the wind. Zavida Alanis. Oh, and I can't remember what your name was on here. No. Trying to find it. I got a teeny tiny window, and that's the problem. Ah, is this Pilly? Is that who that is? Oh, yes. That's okay. I figured it out. Okay. Did you want anything specific? How can I help you? You have my attention before I turn that on. Before I go any further, again, please be aware that go to PayPal, put in the letter B, power, POWER, .MW, which is medicine woman, at dr.com. Okay? Anything in particular, Pilly? Anything in particular? Oh, my lower part of my body is like, I don't want to say gassy, but it's activity. Why can't you remember and why? Your subconscious mind stored it away very well. Let's just put it that way. Your subconscious mind says the reason that it chose to forget was, let's find it, because of the emotion of yours, theirs. There was a lot of anger. 4 billion bits of information come in. You can only handle like 2,000 bits at a time. It's like having imagined that all these toothpicks are falling. You can only catch 150. The rest falls away. But what happens with you and with people that really have those moments when you can't take it all in is that too much will try to be forced. And even though you can only catch so much, it's like this energy just keeps forcing. And when you don't have the coping tools and you don't understand what it is and you over-identify, oh my God, what happens then is your subconscious mind comes in and just starts to help you because you can't make something stop. And so you'll find ways of coping. And then in this case, there was a copious amount of anger. And they said there's a bell that went off. Sets off a depression thought pattern. So that becomes the identity of you have to play a certain role. I have to be this way. I have to act this way. I have to put on these best manners. Or I have to do this crappy job. You will keep repeating it because you're playing a role you don't want to play. You don't like this inferiority complex where people have this energy over you, but you feel like that's the part you're supposed to play. And you're forced to always have to do this, their particular outcome. It's like when a child, dictates to the mother, and finally the mother just does what and the child's trying really hard to get you to get this particular outcome. It just doesn't have words to express it. You did not have that ability to, I want that particular outcome. World consciousness. Now, in this case, this will depend on your code of when you came in, and it's not decoding. It's I don't know if you know anything about fractal energies, but the point is a certain code. This is why you can see the walls. But if you came in with your certain culture, turn on the damn timer. Sorry. Wow, fear of beneath. Hold on. Okay, Will and Grace, a TV show. Then what happened was Jack went into the room and everybody was standing there and the white man was outside the door. Old people, young people, black people, every color you'd imagine, female, male, transgender to, you name it, religion. And everybody says, oh, wait a minute. I'm more, what's it called? Pushed down, suppressed, whatever. The point is everybody says, oh, at first it goes this, and this. No. It goes this, and everybody kept walking to the door and just showing how at some point or another that there was an inferior energy and this other energy would just come in. And we are just learning through time that it's not about having to feel this energy pushing us, because that yang energy, the dominant energy that walked in, that doesn't mean penis, it just means dominant energy, we meant to learn. And now it's starting to change, and people that didn't have a voice are finding voices. The psychic attack, no, psychic trauma, the psychic, going back to the psychic of the bell of a particular time, 3A. Do you want that removed? We're going to do a healing. Is that okay? Because of the world culture that you're supposed to be this and you're supposed to be that, the age that I can see is that you're 2 years old, and then there was another one at 7. At 2 is when the bell happened, and that bell is crying. That's what the bell is, the word crying. And it rings, and it rings, and it rings. The bell went off. Okay, usually use psychic trauma or psychic attack, but it says neither. Her psychic abilities? No, where are you going with this? The psychic of how you're supposed to be. So she picked up that this is how you're supposed to be. And the next logical step of how you're supposed to be is this, and you're supposed to have this amount of pain. Yeah, that's it. But the bell of crying, because you're done. Your soul says, we're done. So the crying of the world. So as far as for the healing goes, where is use your hand, get a refrigerator magnet. The bell, I'm going to send this out. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but you can do it with me or you can do it later. Okay, so the bell is crying. Bell crying, bell crying, bell crying, bell crying, world consciousness, bell crying. It's part of the matrix. Ooh, that's a lot of, ugh. The psychic, okay, woo, picking that up, bell matrix. That part of your aura seems to be clear. Again, you don't have to take it in. It's just a blueprint that I'm looking at. You have the choice. What one? So there was a belief system that was taught to you about vain. Vain. You know, people could say you're too vain. My hair looks awful. Like that. But there's okay to, oh, so you can't take care, oh, hold on. I didn't say can't take care of yourself. If you did self-care, it can be misinterpreted by people that know you or love you or whatever, said, you're doing it wrong. You shouldn't do it. And the more you become more you, the fear of losing control. I feel like that's what they feel. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that connection you want, but that connection is actually very quite unhealthy. You have a lot of people interfering with your energies. Part of the matrix of who you are. I get it. There's a part of you that, do you get depressed? So at age 2, you were in a toxic environment. You watched the world say that this is how you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be. Created an insecurity inside of you because, hey, you're supposed to be that way. The matrix of what it is. Was what happened to her at 2 devastating? Not in the sense that something bad happened. It can be it was a simple one. It was a simple of it's a simple of correction. It's the way that you had to be corrected. It's the reward and punishment, but I don't know if you got much reward. You were born to stand out in this family and change the cultures and the beliefs. Like the millennials are coming in and saying, well, why are you women putting up with it? And we're like, you know, well, at the time we didn't know how to change it. So it's very ingrained. And so the vibration of you that's come in, it doesn't match what you're supposed to be. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't match who you are. You know this, but there's a wrestle going on. So when you had that experience at 2 and at 7, it left like a toxic mark because it's like you're not allowed to be you. Somehow those feelings affects your nutrition, and it goes back down to my lower bowel. And there seems to be, so your intestines take the absorption of nutrition out. And they said there's a disruption of the energy of that crying. Is that crying still there? Only if she wants it. So that means you could go back to thinking and living there because you want a particular outcome, which means you have to fall back into that same pattern. They say change your outcome. Change that outcome, because if you're going to be around that environment and that place, you're just going to keep repeating. You need to find a different, find your tribe. What about Steve was a great movie when she just didn't fit in. And people, oh, you're so different. Finally, she likes this guy, chases him all over. But then during that process, she says it's not about him. And she started to find her peeps that thought like her, that had the heart like her, that made her feel that she was worth something. Does this make sense? And they're saying that sometimes you're going to have to get up. It's like when somebody says, oh, they're hiding a part of their agenda or of themselves, of who they are. Let's say, if a person was supposed to be straight, but they're gay, and then the only way they can actually live their life is they secretly live it. And they're saying there's a part of you that go start living and then decide which one you want. Now, you have to learn to own yourself, regardless of the consequences of where everybody's at, because you were born to live your life, not theirs. Okay? Now, I forgot to turn the timer on, but I know it's been over 11 minutes. Does any of this make sense so that I can help you understand? Your biggest thing for you, as they said, that the active memory of how people believed you should be. That's a belief. There's an emotion to that belief. Tap it out. Even though I believe I have to be this way, even though I see people thinking I have to be this way, and you just go in and start disrupting. That's all that typing does, is it disrupts this continuous energy, like when you have a good signal to your TV set or Wi-Fi, but then you want to break it up because you're changing and they may not like it, but you got to remember, you didn't get born in this world to live their life. You chose that body. You chose this world, but you chose to heal all of the things that your soul was attached to, which is the over-identification of matter. And you can change that belief system, but it takes a little action. It's not about what happened in the past as much as about what you're repeating. And you disrupt that repetitive the way that your will is being used to believe that. Take your power off it and you'll be good. Okay, so the next one is Leon. It's going to ring. Yes, Leon. Come on, get back. Come on, Leon. Oh, all I see is Easter bunnies running around. Or I should say bunnies. Remember, I had forgot to turn it on. But anyways, thank you, Pilly. And if you need me, we can set up an appointment. And, I don't cost that much. That would be good, Leslie. Yeah, I don't even own a phone, but that would be good. Leon. Well, that just disappeared. Well, I don't need that. I know. Okay. Oh. I see a front window. If there's anything particular you want to talk about, sweetheart, let me know, Leon. Well, I probably should check to see if you're here. Shut it off. Yeah. Hopefully it'll stay because I have it plugged in, and so that it shouldn't freeze up. Leon, wait for my buddy Leon. Relationship and health. Okay, but I still got to make sure that you receive what you paid. You're paying for my time. I'm going to honor you. Anybody? Leon. Okay, you guys are wonderful today. I'm glad you're ready to receive this. Spirit said it was going to happen. That's good. Trina, are you here? Get Leon. Anybody else know Leon? Interesting. Okay. Relationships of hell. Oh, yay! Okay. Let me just redo this. Like I said, right from the beginning, relationship with help, but what I'm getting is that I see this lace curtain. You're looking through a window. And the windows of opportunities, you feel like you can see them, but you can't get them. It's like the glass is in the way. There's oftentimes you auto construct sounds and how certain things you never thought you could hear before, or constructing the way people think. When you construct the way people think, that affects the relationship. So understand that the RTJP, the right temporal junction parietal lobe, is when you begin to develop that is between 3 and 5, maybe a little younger. But when you begin to develop it, it's to think what other people think. And they said that you didn't quite hear what they said, and so you had to reconstruct what you thought they said. And when you did that, they say you have a visual memory of what that looks like. So as you begin to be able to hear better as you got older, it does influence the way that you understand what they're saying, because you'll keep recalling in a relationship. You keep recalling, and tell me more about that. Particularly at 4 years old, I don't know if you had ear issues. They said the energy that was outside. You can't even see my hand. This screen. The energy on the outside of you, what did it do? What about the energy outside of him? Did it affect the inside? It's the inner world creates the outer world. What do you want? What? You just can't sit there. Oh, is that what the energy did? Was just sit there? You couldn't feel it moving. You couldn't feel. It's like you had a hard time connecting with that at 4 years old. You had a hard time connecting with relationships. You had a hard time connecting with particular things. They said, so your action, not reaction, your action. How does awkward fit into it? Your action is awkward? Your movements are awkward. Is it because of that ear? Which ear? Left? Right? The right ear? What about that right ear? What about it? Cultural stuff. Oh, so it's like cultural. Well, is it having to be that, not to be that? I don't want to be that. All right, so whatever your culture was, there was a part of you that said, I don't want to be that. Because when you were that, you became very awkward, because I feel like a part of you didn't feel that. Does that make sense? What about it? The inferior, the complexity of the dynamics, Ah, okay. What about it? It keeps you trapped. So it's like no way out. Then you have this inadequacy. So they're saying you're in a loop. Does this make sense to you? So in this relationship, it's a loop. It's stuck in this, the feeling of being inadequate. And then, yeah, so do you want to heal that? No. Well, okay, tell me why you brought it up. It's a toxin. Is it a habit? Not much per se, is that it's just a automatic response, because the active memory of being Less than 1 inside the womb? No. All right, 7 months old? Yes. The biochemistry in the body? 3A. Biochemistry in the body. So the feelings that were going on in the body, did you read them as signals? No. But they created discouragement? Was the body trying to help? No. You took on this. So at 7 months old, the biochemistry in your body changed. It affected, it kind of made you feel numb. Wow, you guys are really deep today. It has to do with the culture. I think at 7 months old, you knew that in your culture, you were born not to have to repeat certain things. They said that this active memory that keeps going on of these trapped emotions, and it makes you feel now, not then, failure. Does that make sense? It created a particular failure. And you're consciously, come on. It's an unconscious conscious thing. What the heck? Okay. Unconscious, subconscious means it's in there. You're conscious of it, so then it becomes part of your fate because you can't change it. You can feel it. It always feels like it's always going to turn out that way. Does that make sense? So we have the thing that they kind of, really described. We can probably go in and break each one of those things up. I just can't remember off that. But it leads up to this failure. So you have this particular hearing, right side, but it's the way that your left side constructs it so that it can understand. It's that habit still comes into play for the now. And then you have this particular thing that happens. Does this make sense? So it looks like failure. So, we would address failure. No, we would address those things that we, in the past, and the way that you hear it. So we would pull it out the way that you heard it. What about, and you had a inoculation shot, which affected the cells, and that just causes a disruption in the biochemistry at 7 months old, which changed the way that your ears could hear because of the body trying to fight it off. Okay, now it's starting to make sense. And the cells now have a particular pattern that they're doing, as well as your life pattern. So the encoding, it's not just a code, it's the encoding. The encoding is from the past. So now you're talking about past life. Whoa. Okay, we're going to go there. So the active memory, you got 2 active memories. So one of the past life, you came in with no. Well, now you're going to draw a blank on me? Don't do that. Will these help? Yes, okay. I think they wanted to go deep today. Your ability to be a medicine man or medicine woman in that past life, and you had taken on something that had happened to someone, and you didn't release it, it stayed. So you feel on a soul level? No, on a past life level, that active memory that, so it's So you have to feel ashamed for what they've done. You took it on to feel ashamed, but you didn't release it. And what, you died? And then you died and you came in and thought it was yours. So it misses. Oh, wow, this is a deep one. Okay, let's pull that one. They said that there was a part of you before you died, was that you had lost that trust and that faith when you were part of that great downloading. And it was when you did that and you lost that connection to be able to hear, yeah, you showed that you died. But that, you never got to transform out any of that stuff from that particular life. Well, isn't that a kicker? Oh, wow. So that causes an interaction with the way you hear things. So everything's starting to now fall into place. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. Hold on. Chilly bones here. Yes, and you can disrupt those patterns, and we have to really help that past life. We have to disrupt those active memories. And they said part of you is just to stop believing or stop creating the hearing. Stop creating the hearing, which is the left side. So when you keep thinking you hear people talk, deliberately take your eyes to the right instead of the left. That's intention, focus. And then when you're thinking, you drift into thinking, make sure you don't look to the left. If you do, quickly just let it go, remove, transcend, let it go, and look to the right. And remember, because well, you know, you've already heard it. Okay, I hope you like that one. Let me check. All right, I want to make sure there's no more paid readings. And it looks like I don't, but I'm going to check one more time, so I'll open it. What was your thoughts, Leon? Trina? Trina says, wow. Okay, yes, he says. While I'm waiting for that response, and I'm double checking to make sure there's no more paid readings. Nikki, Lloyd, I know that you're here, and the thing is I was giving, as far as the Easter thing, a 2-minute, so I'll give you a 2 minutes. Oh, come on and cooperate. Here we go. Again, there's a lot of slow solar flare energy or something going on. I can feel it. All right, so I feel like there's no more paid readings. That's fine. Except this. Oops. Oh! He says, I'm Native American. Makes sense. Whoa, that's the connection I felt then. Oh, man. You've got lots of spirits now all of a sudden coming in. Oh, Jesus. Okay, just because you had to give me that information? Stop it. Ugh. You're free and clear of your past. Me or him? Hold on. Me. Oh. They're saying, remember the time when you got so angry because white man took over? Yeah. What about it? Oh, and I held on to that particular outcome. Okay, so yeah. The interaction with his relationships. Okay, so they said that also affects the, well, it's all related, but why are you coming to, you're clear of that? Oh, you're cleared of that? Hold on. They did something to you. When they came and did my head, they came to you and did something to you, and they said, well, Leon, we can do a lot of work. You know, if you want to set up appointments, we can do that. We can boom, boom, boom. I mean, they really wanted to give you as much information. Okay. All right. Set 2. Geez, okay, hold on. They haven't left my head. They just went and pushed I don't know what they're doing to me. Is this what they're trying to do to him? No, they're doing it to me to heal through me, to heal to him. Why? Won't he take it directly? No. But he will through you. So it's happening right now. I just need to direct it. So I'm going to direct this energy to you. So I'm just going to create a particular, they say wormhole, but it's cable cars. What the heck are you talking about? It's the cords that happen between us. I used to know the name of them. I used to know. They'd taken those words right out of my head. We're going back to a portable in time. So anyways, I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to ask that part of me to continue to heal and work. And I'm going to ask for a reconnect. Thank you. And now we will go to Nikki. You said that you had some loved one on the other side. You want these? No, just tell her what. Okay, ready, Nikki? I don't need to know how you died. I was never able to say before my last breath. Self-love is a must. But you're afraid that if you do the self-love, then the attachment to me will go away, which is untrue. You awkwardly don't know how to live without me because you don't have an identity. Because the identity of the love or the identity of loss, the identity of the loss is now your identity. And the identity of what we had in the future that we can't have is now lost. You need to heal that pain because that's just causing suffering. I'm right here, just a vibration away, but you cannot, you have to live. And the only way you can do that is you have to take away the pain that you have stored so deeply inside yourself, because literally that pain is attacking you. There's nothing you could have done because my soul made the choice. The door was open. I had to. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. But this have to, okay. What's this? What do you do? Oh, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm going like this. What's this? You're getting lost in time. You're going from one psychic to the next psychic to the next psychic to get information, and you already know you're supposed to just heal the emotions. You need to heal the pain. You're saying, I want answers, but you're getting answers, but you can't hear the answers if the emotions are going to control. Does that make sense? Take care of the emotions, because they'll take care of the thoughts, and if you take care of the thoughts, then your inner world changes your outer world. You keep attracting people that are that say they're positive, but really have lower energies. And when that happens, then it pulls you right back in. Heal your shit. Just heal your shit. Just heal it. Heal that emotion. Heal that emotion. Heal that emotion. Okay. Okay. You got to learn EFT. You got to learn. Emotional freedom technique. You can't live if those emotions are going to do that to you. So you literally you have to begin to take charge of how they just run your world. Okay. Healing the heart, I would say we could do that, but you don't want to yet. So just keep disrupting the energies so that you can have more control in your space. Do you get it? Okay. Star, Marie. I'm going to give you a 2-minute read, which is what I did to everybody. Lack of happy-go-lucky. You picking up a hysterical person when you believed it was your own for a moment. The vibration matched. So what is going on? Does that mean something in her soul needs to be cleared out? Yes. The age of 6. The age of 6. Being discouraged. You're meant to see people discouraged. And really that is a projection of your inner world creating your outer world because you're discouraged from being really out there yourself. And you're saying, see, if you're getting rejected, that could happen to me. Now remember, this is not the adult you. You are saying, you're seeing it, but it's that younger part. So you keep seeing people being discouraged. She consciously what? No, they consciously. They, people. The people she needs to see. Okay? They have trapped resonant energy, and so you feel that. Yes, you do. I can feel it too. That trips the active memory that you have. You were 4 months old. Of the environment being what? Overwhelmed. You didn't know what to do with it, so then you turned it into discouragement. So then that's where you have to be discouraged continuously. Heal out the overwhelm. So it dislodges the active memory. And then you need to heal out being discouraged and always having to see the proof of that. All right, so nobody else is paid. And I thank you all for everything you guys have done. Thank you for receiving me today. If I can get the camera to work again tomorrow, I will do a show tomorrow night. Apparently going to spend some time trying to figure this out. And it looks like everybody, I have honored those that have paid because I don't see any more. And just double checking. Okay. If I find any afterwards, I'll contact you and we can do the afterwards, or we can do it tomorrow during the show. All right. Please have good mental, emotional health. Stay blessed.